Talk Radio 77 WABC.
Come on, get happy.
Curtis and Nancy Sliwa up next for the Rip and Read. And no, this is not a Partridge Family reunion show. This is, in fact, talking about Happy the elephant up at the Bronx Zoo. So, Curtis, you were contacted today by one of our listeners who said that they saw Happy out in the public viewing area at the Bronx Zoo, but that's something we haven't seen in quite some time. And we're attempting to verify this with Bronx Zoo staff. No word yet as to whether or not that pachyderm was, in fact, Happy.
Well, according to Joni Kaufman, who I'm working with to stop the migrant shelter from being completely put into Riverdale, 238th. You know, I've been engaged in that battle. She is a member of the Bronx Zoological Society and knows all the elephants by how they look, their names. In fact, Nancy, what is the other elephant in question other than Happy?
That's Patty.
All right, that's Patty. What happened to my elephant sounds? I need to know whether it's a happy elephant, Patty, or an angry elephant. Okay, let's see, Nancy. You're the best at this. Is that an angry elephant or a happy elephant?
Sounds a bit agitated, I'd say.
Okay, all right, because we outed, what's the name of that other elephant?
That's Patty.
Okay, that's Patty, the female.
Sounded like a hungry elephant to me.
Right, then we go to Happy, the last... Okay. What would you say, Nancy?
Sounds like good times.
All right. Okay. So I got to believe Joni at this point because she and others have spent their life going there and checking up on the elephants because it's the number one attraction to the Bronx Zoo. But the Bronx Zoological Society, and they've threatened to sue me if I don't refer to them as the Bronx Zoological Society. If I just call them the Bronx Zoo like any normal zoo, you know, they're such snobs. They've had this under wraps. So, Nancy, why do you think they had Happy out of sight, out of mind? And we're looking for verification of this Noam Laden, who wanted to break in with me, although we were threatened with arrest for trespassing, to just get an accurate eyewitness report on the condition of Happy. Why do you think they just wouldn't take the New York Post from Sunday, right? Put it up next to Happy, you know, like a hostage photo and see Happy is alive, right? Would have been the easiest thing, flipping. Why do you think they're filibustering this, Nancy?
Well, no, because I think Happy isn't alive, and they're just trying to cover that up because of the pressure they've been getting from, obviously, all these different groups, but the Non-Human Rights Project in particular, which has had them in litigation for years, trying to free Happy, get Happy into a sanctuary, and they've been standing in the way. So I think they're trying to keep it real quiet before they blow it up.
Now, an elephant. Oh, wait a second. What is that, Nancy? Happy?
Yeah, that's like an SOS help.
Okay, that's a SOS sound. You see, you don't know these sounds, flipping. You're learning from the best here, Nancy. How many miles does an elephant generally travel a day?
About 30 miles.
30 miles. So they're herding animals. They need to herd and they need to travel. How the hell are they going to go 30 miles a day in the Bronx Zoo?
Walking a lot of circles.
But that's what you do in solitary confinement. Trust me, I've been in solitary confinement. They call it Punk City Protective Custody. So you do. You walk in your cell around and around and around. Then you understand him?
But I don't get really, like, how old is Happy?
Well, decades old, because I think they initially had Happy in the early 80s or something. It was like one of 6 different elephants that was brought over when it was like 6 months old. In fact, when they used to have Happy there, Happy was more of like a side road attraction. They had people riding on Happy, so clearly not really showing the respect that this elevated intellectual being deserves.
So we were prepared, I and Norm Layden, to get arrested for trespassing to find out if Happy was dead, under care, or alive and well. Because remember, they were saying that Happy was photo shy for a while.
And you can identify Happy based off, like, you know, Happy from Patty or
no, because I
Slappy.
know Happy is unhappy. I could tell which elephant was unhappy, and that would be Happy.
But why wouldn't the zoo just say the elephant has has passed. Why not just say, get the heat off them? And
Oh, wait a second. Noam has an update here. Hold on a second. He's been working on this all morning long. Our news director, Noam Laden. Again, we have Joni Kaufman, who says she is a member and knows all the elephants by name, by sight, by description. And I have to call them the Bronx Zoological Society or I will be sued.
Well, the good news is Happy is back out. And Happy is doing well, and Happy has been back out. We in the enclosure for more than a week now, and the zoo telling me Happy is healthy, happy. And when I asked what was going on before, where Happy was behind closed doors, the same reason we got before was that Happy was feeling antisocial, and there was nothing more to it than that.
I need a DNA test. I'm not trusting that's Happy.
Well, anyway, I'm being sent video and pictures, and
but boy, it didn't come from them. It came from Joni Kaufman, who I am working to keep the migrants out of Riverdale with, her and her group there. She's a member and knows all the elephants. So we had to force them to acknowledge this.
Well, Happy's been out for a week, so we didn't force them to do anything.
They didn't announce it.
They sent you pictures?
They did. Video
of both of them?
Of just Happy.
Oh, see, maybe they're sending you Patty.
I don't know.
Trying to pretend it's Happy.
Now, you see, you and I were willing to get arrested by trespassing to go inside. And remember, they blocked us. You know, all those hillbillies they hired from down south, those rent-a-wreck guards, right? And I don't know. There's something we can't trust them. We really can't. First of all, why are they threatening to sue me? Because I must refer to them as the Bronx Zoological Society and not just the Bronx Zoo like any other zoo.
I couldn't answer that question. If I had known that, I would have asked, but I can ask now.
Yes, you can.
I could posit a theory, though.
Yes.
You don't like zoos. You're anti-zoos. So they're trying to check you and say, give us the proper respect.
No, I'm for zoos for smaller animals.
They deserve proper respect.
Wait, what is that sound, Nancy? What's that a sound of?
That means that someone's being bamboozled.
Yes.
They're getting pictures of Patty.
Nancy does not like zoos at all, even for small animals.
No. And Nancy is not in favor of zoos. So the dilemma continues here. It's Joni Kaufman who really forced this issue by sending us pictures. She knows all the elephants. They finally responded to you because the elephant was out of the bag.
Well, I sent them the picture that Joni had sent you, and you sent to me, and I said, how's Happy? And they got back to me, and they actually told me, if you take the monorail today, which is a popular attraction at the Bronx Zoo, you will see Happy.
None of the other news publications have that knowledge. The New York Times just published, a 25-page piece on where's Happy?
Actually, yeah, this is breaking news, actually, if it happens.
Where's the breaking news sounder?
Breaking news, WABC.
Once again, we're ahead of everybody because of Joni Kaufman in Riverdale that I'm working with to stop the migrants and her group. She is a member and knows all the elephants, and she forced, listen closely, lawyers, the Bronx Zoological Society
there we go.
to have to divulge that Happy is back out but is still unhappy.
Oh, we don't know that. I mean, they told me Happy's happy.
Trust me, Happy is unhappy.
We just got to take your word for it.
Well, let's go visit Happy. Come on, Noam. Well, we can jump off the monorail and jump into the elephant pit there and check to see if Happy is happy, we can walk up to Happy. If Happy is not happy, Happy is going to charge us. You know how
Is that how it works?
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Maybe you should go by yourself.
Yeah.
I will. Yeah, you mean you're going to chicken out on this? No.
Well, what if Happy is unhappy? I'm leading a pretty good life these days.
And you need someone to film it.
But you see, that's right. So how about you stay in the monorail and film it?
Right.
Because,
okay.
Whether I get killed or whether I end up petting Happy, it's going to be the leading story, right?
And as he's taking the monorail away, he's like, we'll do you right on the Rip and Read.
Right. The Rip and Read with Noam and James.
But once again, I'm so proud of our team here, led by Noam Laden, news director, who was on this story. James Flippin contributed. Nancy was the interpreter of letting us know the sounds of Happy. And my contact, Joni Kaufman, again, stopping migrants coming into Riverdale. You see, this is, it takes a village to find Happy. It took a village to find Happy.
But if there's anything I can provide in an advisory role, I'll just note that you guys need to be careful. You, Curtis, Nancy as well.
What are you, the freaking lawyer here at WABC?
You already have plans to get arrested down at the Elizabeth Street Gardens.
That's right.
So you don't want to waste all your dry powder on the happy situation.
What did the mayor say about that yesterday? No.
Well, and I'm curious which is more important to get arrested for. But yesterday the mayor said he's not backing down. In fact, during his press conference that he, weekly back and forth with the reporters, he said that they're going to close the park down and they're going to build affordable housing for senior citizens. 50 of the apartments, 150 apartments in all, 50 will go to homeless seniors.
So he's not backing off.
No, he's not backing off.
In fact, this is what he said.
I don't think I have been any clearer than we need housing. This is a real concern. I see it all the time with my seniors in the city that they need housing. We have a housing crisis in the city.
Lots of empty buildings in the area.
Well, and interesting you say that because there may be a moment where they may back off the park because yesterday the person who runs the park, you probably know who that is. I don't know.
Yeah, Joe, he was a former guardian angel.
Yeah, he said
I got all these former guardian angels everywhere.
The mayor showed up at the park after the press conference yesterday to take a tour. And he showed them the buildings in the area that are empty and said maybe you should use these buildings instead. So maybe there's still an opening there where they won't take the park down.
You see this? Why don't you give credit where credit is due? It's just me threatening that Nancy and I will be involved in civil disobedience and the arrest that the mayor is backing off. Why don't you give us credit, huh?
Because I think he's more fearful of Robert De Niro, who said he was going to lock himself to a bulldozer if they tried to take the park
and
down.
Scorsese, right? And Patti Smith.
Yeah.
Okay.
How many senior apartments is it?
I think it was 150.
Yeah.
And how many for homeless?
50.
Trust me,
we're destroying a park over 50 apartments.
Yeah, and there was over like 8,000 local residents who are against it. So if popular voice should really rule the day, like why are you not listening to the people who live there and utilize the park?
Well, maybe he is, though, because he did stop by yesterday to meet with Joe.
No, he can be a hero. He's a heel with everything else nowadays. He needs a positive story.
But in terms of listening to the public, like Nancy said, what a good phrase for somebody who is part of a potential mayoral campaign here. As I see the new card.
What do you mean potential?
Well,
could I make it any clearer?
Are you
I'm
officially
running.
Okay?
I'm running.
All right. So part of the mayoral campaign would be for First Lady of NYC, Nancy Sliwa, and we're looking at the new card here. Very nice. A charming picture of the happy couple. You've got Central Park in the back. Some green. It's very nice. And it says that you need to protect animals and green space now.
Yeah, but you didn't read the top part of it, the most important part of it.
I said Nancy Sliwa for First Lady of NYC.
That's right. We need a First Lady because we don't have one now. And Andrew Evil Eyes Cuomo, who'd like to be
That's true.
the next mayor, he doesn't have a First Lady. And speaking of Andrew Evil Eyes Cuomo, breaking news. I hope you're listening, Dominic Carter, who told the caller yesterday, Andrew Cuomo's going to be the next mayor. He's going to beat Curtis Sliwa. Really, Dominic Carter? I'll see you at 3:55 today to discuss this.
Breaking news, WABC.
Yeah, come back here, Noam Laden. You see that? The Andrew Evil Eyes Cuomo must have been interfering. Hot off the press. Andrew Evil Eyes Cuomo is being accused of influencing a witness who appeared before Congress. This is how the mob operates. I told you, the Cuomo crime family, in which basically he was texting and emailing and calling him up and saying, man, you better not say this, you better not say that, you better not say this.
This is the Mayorkas guy?
Yeah. See, so you understand, this is an organized crime family, the Cuomo crime family. I'm surprised he didn't have his guy who was just out of federal prison, Joe Percoco, who was his late breaker, visit the guy and say, hey, remember, you're going to say the right thing to the House of Representatives. Can you imagine this guy was trying to, they say influence? You know what he was trying to do. Let him know, hey, you better tell the Cuomo story or else. How come you didn't report on this morning?
Well, you said it was breaking news, so I think you
that's
must have beat us.
How come you didn't report on this, James Flippin? You seem to know the guy.
I mean, I have some more newscasts still to come today, and at 1, 2, and 3,
what
they're
are
longer.
you afraid to offend Dominic Carter?
No, that's not really a concern of mine. It's more so that, there's only so much time in a newscast.
Well, I will be confronting Dominic Carter today at 3:55.
All right.
And by the way, we should let Dominic know that Nancy and I are ahead in raising more money and getting more people to join us for the Tunnel to Tower run this Sunday. And I guess that's why Dominic's upset, because he was a champion last year. So guess what, Dominic Carter? I'm coming for you at 3:55 today. And to you two guys who did a great job, get the hell out there and research Cuomo influencing a witness like Michael Corleone at the congressional hearing many, many years ago in Washington, D.C.
It's the Rip and Read.
Talking about
Featuring Curtis Sliwa. Talk Radio 77 WABC. Talk Radio 77 WABC.
Curtis Sliwa. Curtis Sliwa. Rip and Read. Check this out.
This is the Rip and Read. Featuring Curtis Sliwa.
Talking about
Now to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC and Curtis Sliwa. This is the Rip and Read.
Bam, 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 I ran. Bam, 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 I ran. Bam, 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 I ran. Bam, 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 I ran. My country's got a feeling, really hit the ceiling. Bam, I ran. Bam, 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 I ran. Went to a mosque, gonna throw some rocks. Tell the Ayatollah, gonna put you in a box. Bam, I ran. Bam, 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 I ran.
This is incredible, Nancy. President of Iran, brand new, elected to that position. It almost is a guarantee that you have to pledge yourself to jihad. He spoke at the General Assembly. He was allowed to speak, and we are protecting him to make sure no harm comes his way. Better than we have protected President Donald Trump to this date. 79 days since the first attempt at assassination in Butler. Iran had called for a fatwa against Trump, the Ayatollahs, just 5 days before July 8th. A Pakistani was arrested at JFK Airport by the FBI as he was trying to depart after having spent 3 months here on the orders of the Ayatollahs in Iran, with the mission coming in with a lot of money, a lot of American currency to find a hit team that could then go and follow the Trump campaign and put a hit on him. He was arrested, and the very next day, we saw Sniper Boy try to kill Donald Trump. If he hadn't moved his head, he might well have been dead. So yesterday, we are told that the Secret Service agent in charge of July 13th's rally in Butler was made aware of credible evidence and intelligence of a threat against Donald Trump, but didn't pass it along to her supervisor. All 11 Secret Service agents in charge of leading the security effort there have accepted no responsibility for, quote, what they call incompetence, malfeasance, ineptness, or what is increasingly looking like they wanted him dead.
Well, yeah, I guess if no one's accepting the responsibility, that's kind of just saying it right there.
And why is it that it took 79 days now for the Secret Service and the FBI to sit down President Donald Trump and explain to him all the threats that have been made against him?
They've been busy?
Especially after we had the second attempt, which I call it tailgating to kill Trump, right by his golf course in West Palm Beach, Trump International. The guy sitting there in a lawn chair with a six-pack for 12 hours with an AK-47, ready to shoot him when he would putt out on the green. And then they revealed yesterday a letter that he had written in which he said, "But if I fail, I tried my best to kill Trump. I put everything into it. Now, if somebody out there could do it, There's $150,000 waiting for you. It sounds like the Iranians, who will do anything to stop Donald Trump from becoming president. And it took 79 days for the Secret Service, the FBI, the National Security Agencies, and the CIA criminals in action to finally sit Donald Trump down and his team and explain to him all the threats that have been made against him. And he's supposed to trust them to protect him? No. Oh, my God. Let's make sure 3 times is not the charm.
Check this out. It's the Rip and Read featuring Curtis Sliwa. Talk Radio 77 WABC. Talk Radio 77 WABC. Now to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC and Curtis Sliwa.
Curtis doesn't know about you, but he rips and reads.
This is the Rip and Read.
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone. And another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Hey, hey, I'm gonna get you too. Another one bites the dust.
Oh, yeah, another member of the Eric Adams administration has decided it's best to resign rather than go to jail for corruption. Chancellor David Banks, whose brother Phil Banks and Terrence Banks, all 3 of them will soon be on a daisy chain perp walk for money laundering, decided he would take a trip to the Bronx today to officially resign, wearing his keffiyeh, so proud of what the Department of Education, dumbest organization ever, represents, anti-Semitism. He is announcing a new Latina chancellor who will take over as they introduce smoke, weed, and read program into the school system in the Bronx. No doubt. No doubt. Well, let's hear what Eric Adams, swagger man. And remember, I warned you. I warned you about this. I don't want to hear all of your nonsense. I voted for you. I believed you, Curtis. You're all a bunch of kyak-yak-downs. You voted for this guy. You told me he was the better candidate. He was the cop, 22 years, wore the uniform, moderate black Democrat, new face of the Democratic Party, and I told you were all full of bullshizzle. And now it's come to pass. And you all come up and give me bullshizzle now, whether it's in the streets or down in the subway. Oh, no, I voted for you. Sure you did. If you would have voted for me, I would have been mayor. Let's go to cut number 1 yesterday, in which the mayor has said he would so love to discuss all these federal investigations, but
I would love to just give you a whole list of my thoughts on this. I'm a very opinionated person. I would love to do that. It's just not appropriate to do that.
Not appropriate because, just like Andrew Evil Eyes Cuomo saved it for the book in the middle of the pandemic and lockdown emergency, he had his staff writing his book. He made $5 million while people were dying on his watch. Eric Adams, I believe, is in the middle of writing a book with his staff in order to make some money before he gets indicted.
Well, when you say how do I personally feel about that, you're going to have to wait to get my book. You know, it would be outlined. It would be outlined in my book.
Well, he definitely needs someone to help him with the big words.
And Nancy, he's promoted this about 4 or 5 times. You've found these cuts where he keeps talking about you have to wait to read about it in my book.
Yeah, I think he's probably waiting for like a full screen movie, though.
Yeah, but see, it's just like Andrew Evil Eyes Cuomo. You know, hey, buy the book. $5 million I made. I sold only 50,000 copies. That sounds to me like a payoff. I mean, $5 million for something that only sold 50,000 copies. But anyway, so Eric Adams was discussing the retirement of the crooked chancellor of the Department of Education, dumbest organization ever that takes 1/3 of our city's budget, $36 billion, David, I love my Kafia Banks.
Employees and staffers come and go. Come and go. Very few remain throughout an entire term. They come and go.
Can I hear that again, Lou Ruffino? It's like, huh? What?
Employees and staffers come and go. Come and go. Very few remain throughout an entire term. They come and go.
Did we anticipate this? Did he promote that this was what was going to happen when he first appointed all of his cronies, his sycophants, his lackeys, family members, and those in his inner circle?
Yeah, usually they hang on as long as possible, so they really don't just come and go.
Yeah, because they're looking for a payday.
Exactly.
And obviously in this administration, it was a side hustle plus your payday. Then naturally all the reporters said, well, are you going to resign? You know, there's so many elected officials on the far left who basically are saying, time to resign now, Eric.
I'm stepping up, not stepping down. I have a city to run that I continue will run.
What?
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
Could you play that again so we could try to figure that out?
I'm stepping up, not stepping down. I have a city to run that I continue will run.
Okay.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
That means he's going to step up his corruption? Because let's face it, that's what his whole administration has been.
He's got a pen out and he's ready to sign those contracts, folks.
And ready to give you the kickbacks. And remember, he's still got the legal defense fund in which he is basically saying, you better get on board if you want any new contracts. See Frank Carone, my back. Oh, he's being investigated too, Frank Carone. Yeah, right. See David Patterson, the former governor. Oh, he's co-chairman.
Oh, that's right.
Of the legal defense fund. David, if you're listening, get out of that
now.
No,
stay, David, stay.
Oh, God, what the hell are you doing with that? Plus, he's raising money for re-election. This guy is so delusional. He must be doing shrooms or acid like the Jets quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, because he can see something in the future that none of us see whatsoever.
And so a year from now, I see myself again raising my right hand, being called the mayor of the city of New York.
Maybe he's raising his right hand on the Bible in court. Raise your right hand, sir.
Please, Lou, you got to play that one again. I mean, with everything going on, he believes that he will be elected the next mayor of the city of New York. That's a guarantee.
And so a year from now, I see myself again raising my right hand, being called the mayor of the city of New York.
Okay, a few different items we have to deal with. He appointed a brand new police commissioner that nobody knew, couldn't pick out of a lineup, who he extolled as being the greatest thing since J. Edgar Hoover, who sucked. Oh, he's an FBI guy, you know, federal task force, anti-terrorism task force. What a great pedigree. Nobody knew this guy, Tom Donilon. 7 days later, what happens with Tom Donilon? The FBI raids his house and takes out his papers for obviously reasons that we've not been made privy to. But this is the explanation of the mayor who didn't ask for his resignation, but basically praised him after the FBI raided him after Eddie Caban, his previous police commissioner, resigned because he and his brothers are corrupt.
I think that he is a great New Yorker, formerly a special agent in charge, headed the Homeland Security for the state, and he and I communicated, and I am comfortable with his communications with me. But, you know, again, let's be clear, from what I read and of my knowledge, we're talking about items 20 years ago. You know, New York is raised concerned on what happened last week with him after, 7 days in my administration. But, you know, the U.S. Attorney's Office will have to answer that, and the FBI will have to answer that. I don't have the answer to that question.
What do you mean you don't have to answer? This is your guy. A person that nobody knows. Couldn't identify him in a lineup. You built him up to be the greatest G-man of all time. Nobody knows this guy.
He has his own personal investigations to worry about. I don't think he can get involved in others.
Why not just say, you know something, we're going to try somebody else. This didn't work out. Hey, Tom, this didn't work out. You didn't tell us that the FBI was scheduling to raid you for something that you did 20 years ago. You think maybe you should have tipped us off that we'd be putting you on the radar screen and now you'd be high profile?
He's going to be out quicker than Robbie the Robot.
Oh, my God. But, hey, he's a great New Yorker. Nobody knows this guy. And then the mayor wanted to assure everybody, Nancy, that mi casa, what the hell is that Spanish phrase again? So you're trying to kick it in Spanish. Mi casa, su casa. I have no idea what this means. Maybe you can explain it.
This is our city, mi casa, su casa, and we're going to be all right because you have a great team of people that are going to continue to operate in the city. And we're going to continue to fight on behalf of New Yorkers and move this city forward.
Who's left, though?
This is like, imagine the Yankees moving towards the World Series. Everybody has been arrested, right? You have Judge arrested, Stanton arrested. Everybody on the team is arrested, and you have to go to your minor leagues. And this is Cashman saying, don't worry about it. We got it. We got a great team. Just keep buying those overpriced tickets. Oh, my God, this guy's really delusional. And then one of the reporters decided it was time for Eric Adams, the traveling man, to explain why the hell all these trips to foreign countries and why is the FBI investigating him?
I was wondering if, given the investigations into your travels to these other countries, do you think your travels there or people that you're dealing with in those travels is being perceived as working on behalf of those foreign governments?
I have no idea at all. I have no idea at all. I work on behalf of New Yorkers, and wherever I go, I am a proud New Yorker, and I let people know that. So when I'm in Tel Aviv meeting with the residents of Israel or wherever, I am talking about the greatness of this city. Everywhere I go, I talk about New York, if it's private or public travel. New York is the greatest city on the globe.
What the hell is this?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you want to come up with a better answer than that, Eric.
Yeah, this should have been it. Let me see if I can get into my Eric Adams head. I am dyslexic, elected, and soon to be indicted, but my complexion is my protection to being reelected. How about that? How about that? Hey, that's how, you like that, Justin, right? That's Eric Adams, the old Eric Adams we knew when he was confident, brazen, bold. He had swagger. He got no swagger no more. And then his Svengali and his Rasputin has not been around. This is the woman that controls him. He doesn't inhale or exhale without this woman hovering over him. And she's been MIA for 3 weeks. Ingrid Lewis Martin.
Ingrid is on vacation, so I don't know who's calling you up, saying that Ingrid and Eric is at odds, that Ingrid doesn't want to sit to the left anymore of Eric. I don't know who's doing that. You know that whomever's doing that is part of, the folks who are constantly trying to find another story, another narrative. Ingrid is on a long-needed vacation. And I am hoping she's having fun, and I am not annoying her at all. And when she texts me, I say, Ingrid, enjoy your vacation. We got this.
Long needed vacation in the witness protection
program.
Right?
Is that code word for testifying?
Probably in Laramie, Wyoming, a new identity.
She's spilling the beans somewhere.
I need to hear this all over again. This woman, he did not function without her at his side. She is his Svengali. She is Eric Adams Rasputin, Ingrid Lewis Martin. I want you to listen intently because he's really talking about me here. He said, oh, you listening to Curtis Sliwa, huh? You're damn right I'm dropping dime on Ingrid Lewis Martin. Why is she MIA, Eric?
Ingrid is on vacation, so I don't know who's calling you up, saying that Ingrid and Eric is at odds, that Ingrid doesn't want to sit to the left anymore of Eric. I don't know who's doing that. You know that?
Me.
Whoever's doing that,
Me.
That is part of, the folks who are constantly trying to find another story, another narrative. Ingrid is on a long-needed vacation. And I am hoping she's having fun, and I am not annoying her at all. And when she texts me, I say, Ingrid, enjoy your vacation. We got this.
Justin, if you ever go to Laramie, Wyoming to visit the Cheney family, you'll probably stop at a 7-Eleven, and when you order your Slurpee and nachos, you'll see Ingrid Lewis Martin there. You'll say, that's you, right, Ingrid? No. With a new identity, a new location, part of the witness protection group. I'm telling you, 3 weeks this woman has been away. In the middle of a crisis? Come on. And then finally it gets back to, what did I all tell you from day one? From the first time that he was sworn into office in Albany, his very first words.
Show me the money. Show me the money. That's what it's all about.
Now, if the man said that, why wouldn't you believe him? The very first words out of his mouth after being sworn in on the Bible, I need to hear one more time just to remind all of you, I've been letting you know every step of the way, and you ignored me, and now you will have to suffer.
Show me the money. Show me the money. That's what it's all about.
Up next, maybe the most corrupt of the many cronies, sycophants, toadies, and lackeys in the Eric Adams administration. Boy, you don't want to go anywhere.
It's the Rip and Read. Featuring Curtis Sliwa. Talk Radio 77 WABC. Talk Radio 77 WABC. This is the Rip and Read. Featuring Curtis Sliwa. Now to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC and Curtis Sliwa.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? Or what you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? Or what you gonna do when they come for you? You took it on that one.
Well, David Banks with the keffiyeh around his head, Department of Education, dumbest organization ever, is retiring. He's part of this trinity of crooks working for Eric Adams, laundering money. Then you have Phil Banks, the Deputy Mayor of Public Safety. His number will be coming up next. But Timothy Pearson, he's not related to the Banks, but he must have their same DNA. He's got larceny in his mind, heart, and soul, and he's always looking to get paid. Remember, he was quoted as saying, I'm responsible for all these migrant contracts, everybody getting a migrant contract, and I don't even get crumbs. So anybody going to give me any crumbs in this room, huh? Because I need to be fed. Now, what has become of the guy who is the most corrupt of all the many corrupt cronies in the Eric Adams Crime Family Administration, Nancy?
Well, he's still active, technically, right? So Pearson has this weird role of advising over the NYPD, although not really being formally involved in it. He also works for Economic Development Corp, which is, keep an eye on that one. That's always crooked. And then for some reason, he was also tapped because of his great expertise in negotiating contracts for migrant services, which, as far as I can tell, he has zero experience doing. But Adams stands by him. We asked him to go in and look at all the contracts and save us money. And according to him, he saved hundreds of millions of dollars, although City Hall can't point to a single example. So he was served a subpoena along with the Banks brothers. This is September 4th. But just this past Friday, a woman named Molly Schaefer, she's the official in charge of asylum-seeking operations. She was subpoenaed by the feds. And since fall of 2022 up until late 2023, her and Pearson were meeting every day to do asylum seeker updates and contracts. So Pearson's definitely getting a lot of pressure put on him now because of this, but he already has 4 current lawsuits going on, including retaliation by coworkers, sexual harassment. I mean, this guy is riddled with a lot of personal problems that are bubbling to the surface very quickly.
Very quickly. And yet he is acting like he's footloose and fancy free, like he's brazen, he's bold, he's got it like that. He's basically implying, without saying it directly, that Eric ain't doing nothing about me because I know where all the Eric Adams bones are buried and who buried them. I was his boss in the police department, and I know all about Eric Adams.
Yeah, like when he got all these sexual harassment litigations against him, all they did was say, okay, we'll just make sure that he always has a chaperone with him. So, I mean, yeah, they cater to this guy's, maladies.
But remember, we have breaking news here because Dominic Carter yesterday took a call from a caller who said, hey, how come you're not supporting Curtis? You sound like you're supporting Andrew Evil Eyes Cuomo. He goes, because Cuomo's going to win because he's a Democrat. Well, I'm going to confront Dominic today at 3:55. Just listen to this breaking news.
Breaking news, WABC.
Well, a congressional committee is now saying, just like Michael Corleone, remember when he was up on the Hill giving congressional testimony, and Frank Panicelli was testifying against him, the guy who just about got garroted by Danny Aiello and said, hey, Michael says hello. Remember that? Well, apparently almost the same thing occurred. Andrew Evil Eyes Cuomo tried to inappropriately influence a top aide's testimony during the congressional investigation, right on up until the time that he walked into that House committee.
Oh, boy.
Now, what did this involve? Texts, emails, calls, maybe a visit from his convicted federal con, Joe Picoco, who did 6 years for political corruption on behalf of the Cuomo crime family, huh? Best known for being Cuomo's leg breaker. To be continued. Make sure, News Department, you stay on this story.